that because he didn't think Shedeur was going to be available. That's not what he's saying. He's saying that because in my opinion, they're saying that because he's sitting there saying, look, they didn't really have him ranked that high. They didn't think they were going to draft. I don't know who ultimately pulls the trigger on this. Here's the bigger issue. I don't even really care why he said what he said. This is what it tells me, though. What it tells me is that this young man is ice skating uphill. That's what it tells me, because they are not in lockstep as far as how they view him within that organization. What else would you come out and say? As I was driving home on Friday night, if you would have told me we were going to draft Shedeur Sanders on Saturday, I would have said that ain't happening. What that means is there's enough people at the top of the totem pole who are like, nah, he's not for us.
What happens when Louis Riddick finally snaps and drops a verbal flamethrower straight at the Cleveland Browns owner? This isn't just spicy anymore. This is danger-level heat, the kind that makes a whole franchise nervous.
We have good process, okay? And if you'd have told me, let's see, we picked him on Saturday, right? Friday night driving home, y'all are going to pick Shedeur, I would say that's not happening. But we had a conversation early that morning, and then we had a conversation later that day. I think we had the right people involved in the conversation. At the end of the day, that's Andrew Berry's call. Andrew made the call to pick Shedeur. Just like who's going to start or what play we're going to call is Kevin's call. But that's Andrew's call. He made the call.
Riddick's done staying polite, and now the Browns look like they might need a fire-resistant uniform just to survive the week. So picture this. Jimmy Haslam rolls into the Browns facility, sees Shedeur Sanders slinging passes like he owns the field, and suddenly decides he needs to announce loud and clear that drafting Shedeur.
And he went on to say, we had the right people in the room, we had a meeting about it Saturday, and we had the right people in the room, and ultimately Andrew picked the player. I mean, well, what the hell?
Why are you saying that right now? He's on the team.
Exactly. So if you're Shedeur Sanders, and you're sitting wherever you're sitting in the dorm rooms in Berea, like that I slept in when I played for the Browns too during training camp, and you're watching or you're watching the news, and you're seeing the owner sit there and go, no, well, as of Friday night, they weren't even thinking about me. And then they had a meeting, and the right people were in there, and they wound up drafting me. I'm sitting here going, man, am I really at the right place here?
Yeah, that wasn't on me. What kind of leader jumps ship before the waves even hit? It's wild out here. Jimmy, come on. At least wait until the man throws one bad ball before you start dodging responsibility like someone reading fine print on a medicine bottle. And now Cleveland's sitting here with an owner practically yelling that picking Shedeur was the GM's idea, not his. Nope, he wouldn't touch it at all.
Dion says he's dealing with it like a pro, and I believe it. But I'm telling you, that is hard. It is a grind to stand there and watch other people get reps and move from period to period to period, and you're not able to take part. Look, in my experience, at the beginning of training camp, everyone kind of gets worked in to the reps, into the rotations. And then as you get closer to preseason games, get closer to the regular season, they start to pare it down. You start to understand who the coaching staff, who the front office, who ownership are really counting on carrying the load for the rest of the regular.
This isn't just tossing your GM under the bus. This is building a whole monster truck, hiring a race crew, and driving it straight across Andrew Berry's spine like it's a stunt show. And that's exactly why Louis Riddick jumped in. Because if anybody can spot an executive tripping over his own decisions, it's him. The second that little Haslam clarification dropped, Riddick went full Category 5 analyst mode. His reaction had the heat of lava mixed with primetime sports rage. And honestly, who could blame him? You don't spill internal draft business to the world like you're airing out a breakup post online?
My boy Shedeur Sanders had another superb day. Jet point blank period. And let me tell you something, bro. Before I get into this, I just want to say this. If you are a Cleveland Brown fan and you was to walk up to me right now and told me that by the end of the preseason, Shedeur Sanders is going to be the starting quarterback, I would believe it. If you were to walk up to me right now and say that Shedeur Sanders is the best quarterback when it comes to the Cleveland Browns roster, I would believe you. When I looked at this performance, when I looked at exactly what he did today, there is no way you're going to sit here and tell me that he is not the best quarterback up there.
Haslam could have stayed quiet, clapped, and let Shedeur cook. But nope. He wanted everyone to know he's not taking the blame if anything goes sideways. It's like he's trying to enter the N.F.L. witness protection program before the season even starts. And let's keep it real. Haslam's whole career is one long mixtape of rushed hires, sudden firings, and enough chaos to launch a reality show all by itself.
What do you think is happening in Browns camp? What do you think is going to happen there before I let you go?
Lewis?
You know, I think it really does. It really does all depend on how Kevin is able to, as it relates to Shedeur, work him in enough. Well, one, Shedeur has to earn the right for Kevin and the staff to have discussions about, hey, we got to get him more reps with the ones and twos. We got to get him more reps with the ones and twos when we're going team period, not just walk through or not just 7-on-7 team situations where we move the football in the preseason game. We got to get him more reps.
So him pretending he had nothing to do with picking Shedeur? Yeah, that sets off alarms for everyone watching. And Andrew Berry, man, he finally takes a big swing on a quarterback with talent, confidence, and real leadership skills. And before the rookie even signs his name properly, his boss is already saying, "That one ain't mine." Then suddenly, it all became someone else's fault again.
Jimmy Haslam said he was driving home on Friday night. Never crossed his mind, that's after the third round, that they were going to draft Shedeur Sanders the next day. When you draft a quarterback in the third round, when you already have Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett on the roster, it makes absolutely no sense to draft another quarterback in that second or third day. And it felt like today, like, guys, I have nothing to do with this. They pick the players. I don't tell them to pick the players. This quarterback one, I'm sorry, I just don't buy it. He can say whatever he wants, and listen, you watch him talk, he's smooth at saying it. I just don't believe it, because I can't imagine a GM, given their situation, even from a Moneyball standpoint, it doesn't work like that.
Think back to the whole Deshaun Watson saga, a $230 million guaranteed explosion that turned the league upside down, and somehow Haslam still tried to act like he didn't sign off on it. Now Shedeur Sanders hasn't even finished unpacking his bags, and the man is already passing out disclaimers like coupons. That's like bringing home a puppy and instantly telling the whole block, if it chews anything, that's on my partner. Come on, grow up. Riddick's rage isn't just about football, it's about leadership. In this league, accountability is everything, and an owner doesn't get to dodge the spotlight when a quarterback is chosen. And the worst part? It cuts Shedeur down before he even gets rolling. This is his moment, stepping into one of the toughest roles in sports, trying to win over a city that treats quarterbacks like a snack. And instead of backing him up, Shedeur gets hit with front office finger-pointing and quiet whisper games behind closed doors. When he throws that first pick or gets squeezed in the pocket by a Ravens blitz, fans are gonna remember Haslam's little "wasn't me" moment. And the media? They'll turn it into a whole soap opera about betrayal and chaos. Welcome to Cleveland, kid. And don't think this doesn't hit the locker room hard.
Reps now, as they start getting prepared for games, what are they going to do then? If he's not getting reps now, how is he going to earn more reps later is my point. Are you just going to throw him in the preseason games without him having reps with even the third, fourth team, second team at all? See, those are the things that just concern me this early in training camp. But look, I trust what I know and what Dion has told me and what I have experienced myself about the character of this young man as far from a football perspective. But I can tell you this, standing there and watching other people compete when you believe you're as good as them, look, Dom can tell you, that's the worst thing in the world. It just guts you. It wears on you mentally. And why am I not getting in there? Because if you don't get in there, you have no...
Players talk every day, and veterans aren't clueless. They see the politics clear as day. When the owner is out here dodging responsibility like he's in gym class, it creates distrust fast. This is how squads fall apart before week 1 even lands. Not because of talent, not because of scheme, but because leadership keeps tripping over its own shoelaces. Riddick's rant wasn't wild. It was precision fury. He didn't just call Haslam out, he showed the entire league exactly how not to run a team. He basically held up a mirror and said, if your own people don't trust your direction, why should anybody else? Now let's get to Shedeur. The man hasn't even taken an NFL snap, and he's already being set up as a scapegoat by someone with more coaching failures than playoff wins. He deserves a real shot to lead without being caught in the middle of a front office breakup. But instead, we get an owner who wants credit on good days and distance when things get rough. The NFL ain't some vending machine, Jimmy. You don't get to smash the eject button the second a draft pick looks risky. This could have been a clean start. Shedeur Sanders coming in fresh, loaded with poise, talent, and that trademark Sanders confidence. But now, he has to walk into a building where the owner already washed his hands of him in public like some bargain bin Pontius Pilate with questionable taste in quarterbacks.
Just a little bit, Mr. Chippendales and Doggy. It could be. I mean, I've got two train of thoughts. Let me give you the first one. The first one is he could be speaking to the city of Cleveland as if to say, don't blame me for this one. That is the man that gave Deshaun Watson guaranteed $230 million, which right now is going down as arguably the worst trade in NFL history. I mean, the Herschel.
Meanwhile, Andrew Berry is probably sitting in his office wondering how his carefully built, analytics-driven franchise turned into rich guy improv night. Imagine grinding through scouting reports, tape, interviews, and evaluations, only to get publicly ghosted by your own boss right after you make the call. This isn't just tone deaf, it's toxic. It's exactly why some franchises can't stay successful, because accountability becomes a buffet where people grab the easy parts and dump the rest. Riddick's firestorm wasn't just for show, insiders see this mess. Bad leadership at the top cracks everything underneath.
What was going on with Shedeur Sanders coming into the draft. And I will contest to you, I will proclaim to you on national television that so much of what happened to Shedeur Sanders at draft day to drop to the 144th pick, a fifth rounder, when initially he was rejected to be a top 2 or 3 quarterback taken in the draft, for all of that to happen to him, that was a slight, those were people that were hell-bent on making sure that Deion Sanders didn't get his way.
Coaches feel it, players feel it, and trust me, even the janitors catch the vibe. Shedeur is basically getting disowned before he even steps on the practice field. Imagine being a rookie, trying to build chemistry and lead, but now you've got this dark cloud hanging over everything because the owner doesn't want anyone thinking he believed in you. What kind of motivation is that? And here's the worst part. Even if Shedeur succeeds, Haslam still looks like the guy who doubted him from day one. And if Shedeur struggles, Haslam just made it way easier for critics to swarm him like vultures. Congrats, Jimmy. You played yourself. Cleveland was already on thin ice after the Watson saga turned the franchise into a national punchline. And this was the moment to reset and back a young quarterback with real promise. Instead, he sparked owner versus GM shade and a whole wave of panic across Berea. The Browns somehow managed to make training camp messy before it even started. They made preseason drama feel like a midseason meltdown, and Riddick, bless his ESPN soul, refused to let that slide. He lit a bonfire under Haslam's chair and practically handed out marshmallows while calling out the chaos. Under all the sarcasm, Riddick's message was simple. Either take responsibility or stop pretending you're part of the crew, because no team wins when the people up top care more about image than results. Now Shedeur, fresh off a major college legacy, walks into his NFL debut only to find out he's stuck in a custody battle between Haslam and Andrew Berry. Imagine being called the future of the franchise, then hearing the owner basically say, "Wasn't me? Talk to him." That's not a welcome. That's mental quicksand for a rookie QB. Trust in leadership just got torched, and the season hasn't even kicked off yet. If this is how the front office treats the quarterback they're supposed to build around, imagine what happens when Shedeur throws 2 picks in the second half. You know folks will be waiting to hear Haslam pop up somewhere saying, "I told you I wasn't into this kid." Wild. That "I didn't want you" energy hits different, and quarterbacks feel that vibe instantly. They're not machines. They need support, belief, and stability. Look at Mahomes, Burrow, even Lamar. Their teams stood by them. Nobody tossed their GM under the nearest bus the moment things got tense. Now the locker room's watching this circus unfold like, didn't we just clean up a mess? Whisper circles start forming. Players quietly checking contract details, and the vibe gets colder than a Cleveland winter. If they treat Shedeur like that, everyone else starts wondering who's next. And when a franchise starts looking like a Real Housewives spinoff before week 1, December's gonna be chaos. Leaks everywhere, coaches dodging questions with lines like, "We trust the process," which is basically code for "please, don't drag me into this." Receivers will start dropping subtle shade like, "We just gotta listen to whoever's in charge this week." And the sad part, none of this is new. The Browns have been tripping over their own rebuild since the MySpace era. Leadership flips, the logo stays, and somehow the results never change. They've drafted talent, hired smart people, and still somehow turned promising moments into full-blown disaster zones. Riddick didn't snap because of one comment. He snapped because this is Cleveland's pattern. The minute things heat up, the big names start tossing blame around like they're juggling a lit torch. Same chaos, new season. Can Shedeur rise above it? For sure. He's got the pedigree, the calm, the arm. But someone in that building needs to step up and say, yes, we chose him and we believe in him. Without that, Haslam might as well start blaming Barry for the weather next. The only hope is Stefanski, Barry, and the staff locking in and protecting Shedeur so he can grow without billionaire-sized excuses echoing from the suite. Because if the Browns fall apart again, it won't be because Shedeur lacked talent. It'll be because leadership refused to lead. If you're enjoying, make sure to subscribe, like, share, comment, and see you on the next one.